And today, the webinar topic that we are going to see is one of the almost this topic has been like many years. People are struggling to write the PMP application because this PMP application is not a straightforward thing like any other exam, like you buy a voucher and write it kind of. No, it is not like that. Not everyone can write the PMI PMP exam because there is an eligibility criteria. Because there is an eligibility criteria, the application process is not straightforward. So let's look into that, like Jay has mentioned. So let's
I have
directly.
a
Huh.
question.
So now I'm sharing my whiteboard so that I wanted to help you with the eligibility criteria for PMP exam. PMP stands for Project Management Professional. And like I mentioned just now, this exam is administered by PMI and their website is pmi.org. It's a non-profit organization in US and it has got almost, it's present in every country across the globe. Now, how to fill this PMP application? Before that, let's understand the eligibility criteria. Then you will understand the PMP application procedure very easily. So the eligibility criteria to take the PMP exam is, first thing, it is you need to have a bachelor degree. So this is first thing. Option one, I'm telling, don't worry. If you don't have the bachelor degree, there is another option. We will see that. First, this is option one. Okay. So you need to have a bachelor degree, option one, and then plus these are all and conditions, not or conditions. So you need to have a bachelor degree plus you need to have 35 contact hours. What do you mean by contact hour? 1 hour of the training given by a recognized institute like Invensys. Invensys is a registered educational partner for PMI.org. So 1 hour of training from the registered educational partner is equal to 1 contact hour. That means you need to take 35 hours of training from any registered educational partner like Invensys. You need to take that so that they will give you a course completion certificate that contains all the details about this 35 contact hours that you need to fill in the application. So that is this 35 contact hours. So that is this you will get after the training. Okay, after the formal training of 35 hours from the Invensys, you will get that. And provided you have a bachelor degree, provided you have this 35 contact hours, the trickiest part lies in the third one, which is your project management experience. So many people will think, Naveen, I'm not a designated project manager. My designation is different, but I'm performing a project manager role. What should I do, Naveen? No problem at all. Your designation can be anything in the organization, like a analyst or a project analyst or a senior analyst, whatever it is. Designations depends from industry to industry and organization to organization. That's okay, no problem at all. As long as you are performing a role of project manager or a project leader or a project coordinator or a project contributor, any role that involves in the project management activities, it should be fine. You need not be a designated project manager in your organization. As long as you are performing the role of the project manager and project lead, it should be fine. Then how many years of experience, Naveen, I should provide? Recently, they changed this up roughly about 1 month back. Previously, they used to say 4,500 hours of experience. You must have seen this in the previous communications from PMI and other stuff. But recently, they changed this. This is no more valid, 4,500 hours of experience. They made it into months now. They made the PMI PMP application very, very, very simple. So as of today, the PMI's PMP application is very simple. They have reduced the difficulty or complexity of filling the application to, I would say, almost half of it that we used to had it previously. So 36 months of experience. So this is the latest information from PMI that you need to have a bachelor degree, you need to have 35 contact hours, and you need to have 36 months of project management experience, maybe in the role called project manager or maybe in the role called project lead. That's fine. But now, Naveen, if I don't have a bachelor degree, then what should I do? Yes, there is an option too provided by PMI. If you don't have a bachelor degree, then you need to have at least high school diploma. So secondary diploma or high school diploma. So different countries will call it in different names, different universities, but at least a high school diploma you need to have. So that is one thing. Second thing is anyway same. So once you have this high school diploma, second thing is anyway 35 contact hours. There is no change in that. So this you will get it from Invensys after taking the training from them. So this is 35 contact hours. And the third thing is, since you don't have a bachelor degree, so they will expect more months of experience. So this is 60 months of experience, roughly about 5 years. So 60 months of experience they would expect. If you have a bachelor degree, only 36 months of project management experience they would expect. If you don't have a bachelor degree, provided you have a high school diploma, then they would expect more experience here to write the exam. Then Naveen, how should I fill? That is the main topic here. So provided, so you choose yourself which option you fall into basically. So option one, many of the people may fall into option one. Yes, we do have certain category of people that may fall into option two also. You may want to choose yourself because you know yourself what is the degree that you are holding currently. Is it a bachelor degree or is it a high school diploma? Depending on that, you need to fit into any one of these options basically. Now, provided you understood this, then let me go to the straight away jump into how to fill your PMP application. Now, like I mentioned earlier in the webinar, PMP is provided by an organization called PMI.org. Their website is pmi.org. The organization name is Project Management Institute, a very leading company in terms of traditional project management, and it has got its foothold on the agile side also. It's a PMP is kind of a hottest certification across the globe. The main reason behind is PMP is applicable in all the industries, not only IT, software, and all that. It is mainly applicable for globally all the industries. So that's why this PMP is the hottest certification across the globe. And right now, the number of PMPs across the globe is almost reaching 1 million mark. They are about to celebrate, not yet, but they will celebrate definitely very soon, the 1 million mark. So there are about 1 million PMPs. And because of this COVID situation, and one more good news, maybe COVID is not good news, but for the PMI aspirants or PMP aspirants, the good news is they made PMP exam online. Recently, they made it from April 14th, 2020. That means this year only, 4 months back, exactly. Today is August 14th. So exactly 4 months back, they made officially PMP exam online. That means you can take the exam from home, or you can take the exam from office, or you can take the exam from any place that you want, but it is a web proctored exam. But other application procedure and everything is same, but only thing is you will not go to the Pearson VUE centers. It is a center based testing earlier, so you need not go to the Pearson VUE centers because of this COVID-19. In many countries, these Pearson VUE centers are shut. That's the reason why PMI has decided and taken this very big step of making PMP exam online. And we do not know when they may revert back this decision, but as of now, because of this COVID situation, they are continuing with the decision of administering the PMP exam online. Now their website is pmi.org. So today after the webinar, you can also go ahead and register yourself. You need not pay a single dollar for registering in pmi.org. It's a free registration. You need not pay. Some of the people will think I need to pay the membership and all that. No, not required for registration. Registration means you just need to go to pmi.org and click on the register button that I'm showing you now on the screen. Click on this register button. So when you click on this register button, obviously it will open an online form for you to gather some basic details about your first name, last name, email ID, any email preferences, and the country in which you reside, because there will be a lot of emails that would be sent by PMI with lot of updates across the globe. It depends on the geography, location, and all that. So for that, you need to give all this information to them. So if are you working for currently any company, and is the project management your profession or something else? So which of the following best matches your or describes your current job title? So you just need to choose. So you need not write anything there. You just need to choose from the drop down. And what year you were born. So about your basic details, like year in which you were born and how many years of experience you have in terms of total years of experience. So you can fill that. These are all basic details. So go to pmi.org and click on the register. It will open all these details for you. You just need to give these details. Every field is mandatory. You cannot skip it. Okay. So how many years of experience do you have in managing projects that last over 4 weeks? That means each project should be at least more than a month of duration. So in such kind of projects, how many years of experience you have? It is just for data statistics only. So it is not relevant to any of your PMP applications and all that. You just need to give and fill to the true and best of your knowledge. That's it. It is just for collection of the statistics, like how many people are registering and how many of them fall into which kind of a profession and what kind of a project management experience and all that. So just to for their internal statistics, they will ask this some questions, like 10 to 15 questions will be there like this, which I'm showing you right now. So does your organization have a program management office or project management office? Yes or no? It doesn't really matter for you for your candidature. You just need to be true and fair to the best of your knowledge. That's it. So you need to give these basic details about your this thing, and then last in the last 4 or 5 questions it will ask about your account information. That means what is the username that you would like to choose to log into the PMI. So I have just given some sample name like john.smith1. So but that is just a sample and random name. So you just need to choose your own name. If it is already existing, it will pop up saying like this username is already existing, you need to change. That is your login ID to the PMI. And you can choose your own password and security questions and security answer. It's just like any other email ID, account creation, or any something like that. That's it. So it's very plain and simple to register in pmi.org. Once you create the account in the pmi.org, that means you have a valid username and password to log into the pmi.org. So assuming that you have got the things now till the step 1 is registering in pmi.org. So just a very straight step anyway. There is no logic or trick involved here. It is just like any other username and password creation for multiple websites. So this is your username and password creation for your pmi.org. Now, so once you have created the password and username for pmi.org, so it will pop up a message like this saying like, welcome to the world's largest project management community, and now your account is good to go and all that stuff. That is a feedback message that you will get from the pmi.org on the same screen once you click on create my account. So that means your account is created. When your account is created, you can simply log in with your user ID and password that you have just created. So once you have logged in with your user ID and password, as of now, this is how their home page reflects. Okay. So this is how their home page reflects. So you have some options like certifications, membership, and your learning and other events, and a PMBOK, project management body of knowledge standards and guides that you can download. But you cannot download as of now anything because you just registered in the pmi.org, and these downloads and other facilities are available only for the members who paid their membership fee for the 1 year. But if you have not yet paid the membership fee, these are all just simple tabs for you which you cannot access. So only certification section you can access, no problem, because as a non-member also you can go ahead and apply for the PMP exam. So while paying the fee also, you can pay the membership fee. That's a different story. So that means if you are a member, you cannot download any of their commercial products like PMBOK or any other standards. So coming back to our topic, which is how to fill my PMP application. So once you log in with your user ID and password, so you will have something called My PMI. So once you click on that My PMI on the right hand side, it will open a page like this. So it will open a small window like this pop up. So once you click on that, and you concentrate on the dashboard. So just click on the dashboard. Okay. So once you click on the dashboard, so it will show your own profile to you that you have already created. And on the right hand side, it will show the certification status. So if you don't have any other certifications under PMI, it will show just a blank window like this. In that, it will give a button called Learn More About PMI's Certifications. Click on it, no problem. So when you click on it, then you will be leading to another web page or subsequent web page that will talk about all the certifications given by PMI. In that, the very first certification is PMP. So you can click on that PMP link. So once you click on that PMP link, then you will be leading to a page that talks about what is this PMP, why you need to do this PMP, and some other details about encouraging you to take the PMP exam. So from the PMI side, they will give all the details like this. On the same page, if you see, there is a button called Apply Now for your PMP. Just click on that button. Once you click on that button, then your application starts. So this is now your story starts now. So once you click on that button called Apply for PMP, it will ask about majorly three things. I told you, right? Eligibility criteria, education, and your first one is your academic education. Second one is your professional education, and third one is your experience details. So if you observe the PPT that I am showing, first one is education. This education itself contains both the details. It will ask for both the details. What is your academic education and what is your professional education? Where did you complete your professional education of 35 contact hours? Both the details it will ask under the single category called education. Once you have filled your education and once you go to the next step, then it will ask about your experience details about your project and the other details. I'll show you anyway. Then once you're done with this, then it will ask about the basic details of the exam. Would you like to take it in which country, and what is the name on the certificate that you want, and all that. I'll show you that also anyway. So one by one, we will come now. Education. So then when you say continue to my application, so then it will lead to, once you can also you can click on here also. This is a clickable link here. Education is a clickable link, so you can click on it. So once you click on it, it will open like this: academic education, the very first eligibility criteria, bachelor degree. If you don't have, no problem, high school diploma also you can put it. So just you need to drop down, and in the drop down you will find all the details, whether you have a bachelor degree, master's degree. If you have master's degree, no problem, go ahead and keep it, no problem. If you have bachelor degree, go ahead and keep it. If you have a high school diploma, go ahead and keep it. The moment you keep bachelor degree, so your academic education and your professional education becomes 36 months of eligibility. But if you keep high school diploma education, it will calculate internally and it will show you 60 months of experience that you need to fill. So let's assume that we have a bachelor degree, for example. So academic education, it will ask. So once you go to the next step, I'll show you. So I have put my master's degree just as a dummy information here. So the moment I kept my master's degree and just a country of institution, United States and Michigan University, and field of study. So these four things it will take in the previous step anyway. So in the previous step, that four things it will take. And then when you say save academic education, when you say save academic education, it will turn into green color. That means, yes, now you're eligible with respect to whatever the information you are eligible for academic education. The moment you are eligible for academic education, you can click on next button, then it will open professional education, meaning where did you take your PMP training. So just like that, you cannot go ahead and apply. You need to take PMP training up to how many hours? Minimum 35 hours you need to take the training. So where did you take? What is the course title? Because depending on the REP, means registered educational partner, like our Invensys and many others are there. So they will have their own different course titles. Somebody may call it as PMP exam preparatory workshop. Somebody may call it as PMP workshop kind of. So Invensys will give you these details once you have completed the education with them. 35 hours of professional education, the training. They're offering some discounts, I guess. You can check with the administration of Invensys. So you just need to put your course title when, not now, after taking the training, after they give you the contact hours. So you just need to put your title, course title, and provider name. They will give you anyway. It will be Invensys Learning, I guess. And then course dates, month and year in which it started, and month and year in which it finished, and 35 is the contact hours. So you need to put that and save your education. Once you save your education, professional education, see, I just gave some dummy data like provider name. So my, the course title I gave as PMP exam preparatory workshop. Provider name, Invensys Learning, and course dates, August to August, 35 hours. So once I save it, now see on the right hand side, it has converted everything into green, saying like you are eligible for professional summary as well with respect to. That means we have given our education, academic education. We went into green color, go green, and then we are now into professional summary also. It is satisfied. Then now if you closely observe on the same website, on the same page, continue to experience. That means second step it is going now. So it is going to ask you what is your professional experience. See, when you say click on continue to experience, it will lead to this kind of a web page where you need to click on experience button here. So that will, it's going to ask about your professional experience. Professional experience of project management. I told you, right? Option one, if you go, 36 months of experience. There is no need of hours and dividing those hours into initiation, planning, execution. All that is taken away. All that complexity is taken away now. They made it very simple. You just need to fill your project details and give from which month you started that project until which month you worked in that project. So that is months. No need of keeping any hours and all those details. I'll show you anyway. So now you're going to the experience details that you're going to record. So how it will start. So when you say, when you click on this experience button, then it will lead to this web page that talks about multiple projects you can add. So you must have some questions like, Naveen, can I put only one project or can I keep multiple projects, and is there any limit on the number of projects? There is no limit on the number of projects. You can keep as many projects as you want till you are satisfied with 36 months. Okay, lucky people are those who are working in the very big project for the last 3 months. You just need to fill one project, that's it. Otherwise you need to click on add one more project, add one more project, like that. You can add as many number of projects as you want, you can add, and then you can write your details. For example, when you're writing the PMP experience, you need to be very careful. Don't use names like this is processes and this is operations and all that. I'm an operations manager, I'm involved in day-to-day maintenance of the activities and all that. No, your PMP is all about project management professional, and it talks about projects that you have handled, not in the day-to-day operations. But one thing you need to remember, if you're an operations manager also, no problem. But as long as you are involved in projects in the operations side also, there will be many projects like process improvement projects, or call volume reduction projects, or call time reduction projects, or defect reduction projects. So these are all projects basically. Though you're in the operations world, but still you may have involved in definitely many of these kind of a projects. You need to put that experience, not like I'm an operations manager taking care of my department day-to-day activities. No, it will not work out there, right? So you need to give your project title, organization in which you executed that project, and what is your job title. It can be anything. It need not be a project manager. Your job title can be anything that I mentioned earlier. Now, you need to select some of these areas like functional reporting area and your organization primary focus and approach that you're involved in. Are you involved in traditional? Are you involved in agile? Or are you involved in hybrid methodology and all that? And what is your team size? And what is the project budget? And if you don't want to disclose your project budget, no problem at all. You can, there will be a drop down in that, there will be something called as classified. You can click on that. If you don't want to disclose any of these areas, you can say classified, 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 or whatever it is. So that means you do not want to disclose this information to the outside, means to the PMI. That's totally acceptable, no problem at all. And the project month in which it started and the year in which it started and month in which it ended and year in which it ended. So this is what it will ask. So let me show you one. And also what are your deliverables, and as a project manager where you are involved in this kind of a project and all that, that you need to give minimum 500 words. So minimum 500 words. You cannot write as many things as you want, but you need to crisply cover your project title and the objectives of the project and the deliverables in which you are involved in. The third one is very important. You need to align your language to the PMI's way of PMP language. Like, you must have involved in project planning, but you should be mentioning as if like it is you are involved in creating project management plan. Also, you're involved in creating communication management plan, risk management plan, stakeholder engagement plan. So this kind of a PMI's language you need to put, because they will review your application. While reviewing your application, when they look at your project description, if that language is aligning to their language, they'll be more comfortable to approve your application. Otherwise, they might put some queries back. So in order to avoid those queries and all that, you need to be very careful while filling the application, especially the project description. Some people I have seen, like some people will write as if like methodology is agile, but now in the deliverables they'll write as if like a project management plan and all that. In agile you won't find all those things. So you need to be very careful. You need to put a traditional and go with a traditional way of the language. If you have kept agile, then you need to keep agile way of the language, like you're involved in sprint planning, daily scrums and all that stuff. So that is as per your experience with the true and fair things. You need to keep to the best of your knowledge the deliverables that you're involved in. But I gave one example here for your reference. So project title, I just gave some dummy data from the Invensys. So project title, I kept it as trainer platform or curriculum development, and organization Invensys, job title project manager, and the functional is we are creating a IT system, so IT and information technology. And then traditional, we followed 5 to 9 members team size, and the project is between somewhere 1 million to 5 million. So just gave some dummy data. And project dates, January 2017 to March 2020. If you carefully observe, it is ideally more than 36 months. One project itself I gave just to give you a feel of how it looks like. But in reality, if you're involved in multiple projects, you can go ahead and start from today and drill down chronologically into the past and add as many projects as you want. Okay, no problem. There is no ceiling limit there. So trainer plan, and so you know, you just need to give your project objective and the deliverables that you are involved in. See, developed project charter, defined and prepared project management plan, updated the stakeholder register, and got the team create WBS. This is all PMP's language, PMI's PMP language. So you need to align towards, okay, the jargon that your company is using or your organization using may be different, but you are filling PMP, PMI's application. So you need to just transform your own language towards PMI's way of having these deliverable names and all that. So you need to put that, and you can add as many projects as you want. See, there is a button called remove experience. There is a button called edit experience, but I have already given one project that satisfies the entire 36 months. That's why it has already satisfied 36 months on the right hand side when I save it. Otherwise, it will be still in this gray color, not green color, and it will say how many months you have already added, how many months is remaining, and there will be another button, you will get it here, add more experience. So you need to click on that and add one more project. Click on that, add one more project. Like that, you can add as many number of projects as you want till your 36 months is getting satisfied if you are going with option one, which is bachelor degree. The only difference now is if you are going with high school diploma, you need to add 60 months of experience, not 36 months. You need to drill down to the last 5 years. Then you might be having doubt, Naveen, I'm switching the roles between operations manager, project manager, and something else. So do my experience need to be straightforward for the last 3 years? Not required. In the last 7 to 8 years, you can pick up that 3 years of experience that you want to keep, and you can keep the projects up to last 7 years ideally. They said 8 years, but normally as a mentor, I would say 7 years. Okay, in the last 7 years, you can keep your projects on and off. It need not be continuous. You can keep projects on and off because sometimes you may work, sometimes you may not work, sometimes you may overlap with other projects and all that stuff. Okay, so that's why you can drill down up to last 7 years of experience, and you can put 36 months out of it. Whatever the projects that you want, you can keep it, no problem. Now you're not keeping any contact name, you're not keeping any phone number or email ID of any other person who knows that you have worked in this project. That has been removed from the latest application procedure. Before this application procedure, earlier, for every project you need to give the one contact name at least, so that they can do some audit process. Now because of this COVID, as of now they removed it. So because like they cannot contact those people for all those details. Sometimes people may see the email, sometimes the physical emails are not happening across many countries and all that. So you do not worry about your experience, contact person name, or contact email, or contact phone number and all that. So you just need to mention whatever I have mentioned just now, and continue your experience like that till it gets satisfied with 36 months. Now what we did till now, education wise, academic education we are satisfied, professional education we have satisfied, 35 contact hours, and now experience also we are satisfied, so 36 months. Now when you say next, then it will go to the next slide, next web page, which is nothing but continue to exam details. So click on this, continue to exam details, click on this. When and remember, you are not paying any fee as of now, not required to pay, not now. Once your application is submitted, they will take 3 to 5 business days to review your application, and once your application is approved, then you can pay the fee. That time you can take the membership and then pay the fee. If you take the membership of PMI and then pay the fee, you will get a discount of $11 overall, including membership and PMI's PMP fee. So like that you can see anyway. So you can Google out also what is the fee that you need to pay, and with respect to membership, and without membership you can Google out and see. So that will be straightforward. I'll also mention, if you want, if you are a member of a PMI, including membership and the discounted exam fee, total it comes to $544. And if you're a non-member of PMI, you can straightforward purchase the exam and it is $555. So obviously 100% of the people will take membership and then go with a discounted PMP exam fee. So it becomes $544 and you can enjoy 1 year membership fee. Membership benefits you can enjoy. Now membership benefits and all that is outside the scope of current webinar. We can talk it over other platforms, but right now we will continue with the next step. So we have completed education details, we have completed experience details, and now we are getting into the exam details. So it will ask the home address at which you are currently residing. So you need to give your home address. Based on that, it will recognize the country in which you are residing, and it will ask you certain details. So you just need to give your home address, and then once you give your home address and say next, it will show you whatever the profile that you have created. It will show you like this: name on the identification. So you must have given your first name and last name, and name on the certificate. So if you want to edit at the last moment, if you still want to edit, you can go ahead and edit it, because once you submit the application, you cannot edit the name, and you need to be very careful while filling the application, because many people may go with their preferred name. For example, today only in the morning Indian time, I gave one session to one of the PMP candidate, and his preferred name is Ricky. he is from Australia, but his original name is not Ricky, it is something else. So like that, so preferred name and all that, don't keep it. You need to keep your official name. At least one ID should be reflecting with the same name. Otherwise, they will reject your application and they will reject your candidature of writing the exam. That's why. So while filling the name itself, you take your passport or you take your any of the government ID in your respective countries. Any one government ID is sufficient, like recognized government ID. So you take that out and look into it and clearly mention the same name. Otherwise, while writing the exam, the proctor will ask you to show the ID and he will ask you to take your own selfie and also a photograph of your ID proof. If it is not matching with the name, not matching with the face, the proctor will say this will come under malpractice and he might end up canceling the exam also, and you might end up losing all the money as well, and that embarrassment, pain, agony, and all that you need to face. So you need to be very careful while filling the name exactly matching your ID card, any of your government ID card, basically. Right. Anyway, so just keep your name as is, like in your government ID card. So match them to the ID card, and then what? So then let me go there. So I think I got to the almost last point. So then once you give that names and all that, then it will ask about the location. Where do you want to take the exam? Now it is no more valid as of now, but still you need to give as per the application. You need to give because it is all now web-based exam. So it may not be so preferred or preferable information, but still you need to give. And any special accommodations, this is only for those people who are physically challenged, and if they need to go to the computer based test and all that, they might say yes. But otherwise, now anyway it is your what do you call, online exam, so you can say no, and then you can agree to the terms and conditions, and then you can submit the application. Once you click on this terms and conditions, then only submit application will be enabled. Once you click on this application, PMI will review for 3 to 5 business days, and it will approve the application if they don't have any queries. If they have queries, they are start writing and emailing now. So previously it was audit process and all that. Now they are sending emails. So you need to resolve those queries and send them the information so that they can approve your application. Once the application is approved, you can go ahead and pay the fee. So you need not pay the fee before your application is getting approved. Once you pay the fee, you will have 1 year to write the schedule and write the exam. So that ends today's webinar topic on how to fill the PMP application. From my side, we will take up the questions. So what if you already have 35 plus hours? Go ahead and fill the application. And what? So management training as part of bachelor's degree. No problem at all. If you have a recognized 35 plus hours of project management training, go ahead and start your application. No problem at all. So bachelor's degree, oh, you are project management as part of bachelor degree? No, it will not work out. So you might be having a bachelor in MBA, in that project management is there. No, it will not work out. So you may be a bachelor degree having in MBA or masters of business administration or project management. It is your academic education. The professional education has to be there. Okay, fine. So do we need to have this experience within last 8 years? Correct, buddy. Within last 8 years, you need to provide this 3 years of, 36 months of experience. Correct. So what a person has experience, like 8 years experience from 2007 to 15. So this is 2020. So keep from 2013 to 15, no problem at all. So if in the last 5 years, more education projects were done, does that account? I don't know what exactly you mean by education projects. Project is a project in whatever the area that you are getting it done. And maybe you can be more specific. You can type one more question if you want. If the main core project experience is like 8 years from 2007 till 15, no problem. I told you 2013 to 15, you can still put it. That will still valid because last 8 years I told. So this is 2020. So from 2012 onwards, you can keep anything 2012, 13, 14, 15. That should be sufficient enough basically. Now, then is it a problem? No problem. Somebody else is already answering maybe. So just concentrate on my explanation. PhD research project experience count or not? No, it should be a project management experience, not education experience. PhD research is also education based. It will not count. So you need to have project management experience basically. So that will only count. So I also would like to know that can I use my research project experience in PMP application? No, research project is a education thing. We need to have work experience basically. So research project, if it is under a commercial research project, no problem at all. Go ahead. If it is an education based research project, no, then it will not work out. Then PMI will ask several queries. You may end up emailing them. Now, no, not count. Maybe Imtiaz is already one step ahead than me, so he's answering others' questions. Thank you. But as long as it is fine, I'm good. As long as it is not correct, then it becomes a problem there. Kindly requesting for this presentation. Yes, Invensys will give you all the presentation, so it will be there with you. Invensys will provide. Only field work in projects. Yes, commercial in the sense like you need to be you can take the project on your own self also, you can do it, but as long as it is not there under the education, then you are fine. Now if I handle project during my post-doctoral research, then can I use those? Yeah, if you have handled projects your post-doctoral research, you can use that as long as it is not coming under your education. So an application was submitted a couple of months ago and name does not match as per applicant's ID. No problem, don't worry. You just need to send an email to PMI's customer care, or based on the country that you are living, you can call your local PMI's chapter customer care number, and they will be more than happy to help you with the next steps. Or you can send an email to the PMI's customer care. They will respond back unlocking your application, and you can edit it as long as you have not yet paid the fee and taken the exam and all that. I'm assuming that it is still submitted couple of months ago and name is not matching. So you can tell them that I've submitted this application. I just realized that name is not matching. You can send an email to their customer care. They should be happy to help you. And this is feedback link anyway. Is contact hours enough to take every exam if we failed in the first exam? Okay, every exam, I'm assuming that every attempt. Okay, you can take up to 3 attempts in a given year, and if you are unable to pass 3 attempts, then the contact hours also will expire. So in the next year when the fourth attempt is happening, then you need to resecure your contact hours. Okay, so otherwise your contact hours will not be expiring anyway. So if you don't take the exam, so today you have attended the session, after 3 years you are attempting the exam, no problem, that will be there. But you have already attended the session and then 3 times you failed in a given year, then you cannot take the same contact hours for the fourth time in the next year. Okay, right. And then I believe there is a time frame of 90 days from a certain point in the process. What is this 90 days? Okay, when you start the application, you need not submit on the same day. You can save it. You can save it up to 90 days kind of. Okay, so that is one thing. And second thing is, if your application gets picked up in an audit, right now it is not because of this COVID, but before COVID situation is this: if your application is picked up in audit, you have 90 days to prove that you are eligible. How do you prove? You just need to take the photocopy of your bachelor degree. You need to take the photocopy of your uh, not experience, sorry, your professional education. So professional education details from Invensys, you need to take the photocopy of that, and they will give you one PDF. You need to take that printout of that PDF and take the physical signature from all the contact names. So to do all this process, there is a 90 days time frame. But right now in COVID, this process is not there, audit process right now. Whatever they are doing audit, they're just simply, they are also mailing the things and then you can respond back in the mail. So email, I'm telling. So right now, because of this COVID, everything is through this email. That 90 days of audit package, submitting the audit package is right now not active. Now Are there any restrictions from which university? No, no restrictions at all. You can take anywhere as long as that is a recognized university. No problem at all. No restrictions on the field of study also. You might be a mathematics professor, but you can still take PMP exam. No problem. Right. How are there any, how to value experience as a project lead in a development bank such as African Development Bank who has a financing role? See, you may be a financial manager or you may be any other manager, but as long as you're involved in projects, so like in your African bank also there might be some projects of giving certain strategizing certain loans for backward communities and all that, or strategizing some other bank strategies, policies and all that. As long as you are involved in such projects like strategizing the financial policies and all that, you can keep that as your experience. But if you say I'm a financial manager, I'm a cashier in the bank, every day people come in and hand over the cash, then that is not, that is operations, that is not projects at all. Now, how do I need, how many hours do I need with an MSc? MSc is a master's degree anyway. So how many hours? Project management with 1 year experience in a project. So project management with 1 year experience, you are not eligible, minimum 36 months of experience. But if you have project management experience with 1 year, you can go for another certification called Certified Associate in Project Management. That is for those people who are just entering into project management field. That time you don't need any experience. You can simply apply for it. That is called as CAPM, Certified Associate in Project Management Certification. That is not PMP. For PMP, 36 months is enough. Now, I would like to request this presentation. It will be given. I do the training 35 hours 2 years ago. Yes, you are eligible. No problem. 35 hours of training if you have, and the training institute is still there, which can back up your training. If it gets in audit, the training institute should be still there to send an email to the PMI. Okay. Thanks, Naveen. Thank you, James. And but it's until March 2005 is 15. Is that a problem? No problem at all. That's what I told Yuri Thabzir. So in the last 8 years, anytime you can give. So you can give it from 2013 to 15 also, no problem. Then what, can I please have this presentation? It will be given. I read that the profile can be chosen for audit, correct? Or maybe not, correct? And how does this audit work? Just now I explained 15% of the applications will get picked up in audit. But right now during the COVID situation, if you have already clearly filled the application, and for the last 3 months or 4 months, many of my aspirants whom I mentored, none of the applications got picked up in audit. I can tell that in with confidence. But yes, PMI never ruled out the audit process. Now what are they doing is they're sending an email to the candidate asking for additional details over the email itself. Okay. So can I give an online exam from Nepal or not? Yes, you can give, no problem. There are only very few countries restricted by PMI. You can check PMI website. You can give online exam from Nepal. I don't see any problem there. So you can check PMI website. Very few countries you cannot give. I don't know the reason why, but you cannot give from few countries. But Nepal, I'm sure you can give. My project experience was between 4 to 2005. No, it will not count. In the last 8 years, it will count. 2004 to 2005 is almost like 16 years. So it will not count. Very good information, Sadhana. Thank you. How recent, that's what I told, last 8 years. Okay, last 8 years, it will count. My project was not for education. It was for research for new objectives. Then it will count, no problem. But if that project is under your PhD, that is an education process. After the PhD, you have done these projects, not and you're claiming some, what do you call, remuneration out of it, then it will work. If it is under education, under PhD, I did this, then it will not work. And our PMP course trainer from Simply Learn said that they are scrapped that within 8 years. No, it is not. It is still there. They never scrapped it. Okay. You can check with PMI if you want. I'm kindly requesting for this presentation. Yes, it will be given 36 months. Yes, you are correct. During PhD, we do a commercial project. Is that acceptable? Yes, as long as you don't give that PhD as your highest education. You give your bachelor degree and give this commercial project, then no problem. Can I take the online exam at any time of the day and weekends? Yes, you can, as long as the slots are available. You need to book the slot, then web proctor will be there during that slot. Send the presentation, please. Yes, it will be sent. Project management professional handbook page 6 requirements doesn't say anything about within this last. No, download the latest one and talk to the PMI's customer care. They will help you. Definitely, they will help you. And your handbook doesn't contain all the details. Maybe one or two details will be missed. Why I'm confidently telling is, one of the application, they made a query just 2 months back on the same reason. Okay, that's why I'm telling you. So be careful with this particular point. Check with the PMI with the latest things. If they are satisfied, then give it. Otherwise, you may have to earn the experience recently. So the approval for taking the exam is mostly based on how well, yeah, correct. How well you really describe the experience, that much chances are there to get the approved application. So then there are, okay, oh my God. So there are 20 more questions. So I may not be able to take up, but I'll take up some next 10, 15 questions max. Can this be considered as a project? Successfully training people to use a particular software that has been introduced into the company. As long as it is recognized as a project by the company, yes, this can be, because that project objective is enabling the people to use the software. That itself is a project, and that's a training project. No problem at all. And I took exam 2 years ago and failed. Am I going to start the application from zero? Ideally, yes. Ideally, yes. But check with your PMI once. No problem there. And is there any way do an exam in the test center? No, as of now, no way. You need to take it online because of the COVID situation. And I had experience in project appraisal and financial infrastructure energy fields. That will work definitely. And after filling the application, do we need to give exam immediately? No, I told you 12 months. You can book the slot up to 12 months down the line. So 12 months it will be there once you pay the exam. Oh, it's finished. Okay, thanks to everyone. Thanks a lot, Naveen. Thank you so much. And everybody is saying thanks. I'm so happy. Stay healthy, guys. Stay happy. And definitely, I hope that this kind of a presentation is really good. And we are coming up with a lot of webinars with other topics also. And needless to mention, Invensys is already running a lot of discounts on this project management trainings. Because of this COVID situation, they are helping a lot of people across the globe at reduced prices. Okay, so you can check with Invensys. They should be able to help you with all the details of professional experience, 35 contact hours, and all that stuff. They should be more than happy to encourage any kind of a discussion that you want to have with them. So with this, I sign off.